Hello, welcome back to GOT. If you've been watching the channel a long time, you know I'm really big on foldables. I've got away from the standard bar phones because they've been so boring to me, and I'm really enjoying the foldables. But you know what? I went straight into book folds and completely overlooked the flip phones. Matter of fact, I even developed kind of a bias in forgetting about them. We're going to talk about it. Was I wrong? Check it out. So honestly, I thought the flip phone was kind of a gimmick, something nostalgic to take you back to the day when we had the regular Razr flip phone, because I was a Razr flip phone carrier. I really enjoyed that phone. So I didn't really give it the time of day, and I was even kind of biased towards the foldables instead, just because this was just, I don't know, more like a bar phone. When you open it up, you got a bar phone. Now, one of the other things that set me up against it is it only came out with two cameras, and most even bar phones today have at least three cameras, unless you're carrying something like the iPhone, the holdout, the two camera phone. This is their standard basic iPhone. Everybody else has gone to three phones. Samsung has been doing it forever with their basic phone. This is an FE, I think 23. And then finally, Pixel came out with three cameras on their standard phone. Now, even Samsung, though, is doing it on their flip phones. They're only giving it two cameras. This happens to be a Motorola, which now leads us into the fact that I was wrong. I was truly wrong about these phones. And let me tell you why. Well, it all started when I started hearing rumors about Motorola coming out with a book fold. I thought, wow, they're going to come out with a book fold? You know, I don't know much about Motorola since my day with the Razr. And I thought, if I'm going to get that book fold, I need to know what Motorola is about. And if you read the news, and you can see a lot of the folks saying, and in the comments from my Fold Razr video, a lot of folks are saying that the Motorola software is junk. It's not good. Well, I had to know for myself. So that's what ended up turning me to this flip phone. I went on Amazon to see what I can get, and I got me the Motorola 2025 flip phone. And you know what? Good news so far. I'm really enjoying it, and we'll cover that here in just a moment as well. But first, let's take a look at something seriously about the folds, because folding phones, they really today still hold a very small part of the market. Now, per evidence of this chart here, as you can see, the global market for bar phones versus foldables, you can see in 2024, the standard phones had 98.5%, and the foldables are at 1.5. That's very small in the market today. And now in 2025, the folding market gained a little bit, and that's 0.6. So now it's 1.6. So you can see it's a very small share of the market does the foldables have. And that includes the flip phone and actually the bar phones, such as the Z Fold 7. Now let's take a quick look at these two in comparison, the flip versus the fold. Check out this chart. Now looking at this chart, you can see that the flip phone actually had the higher market share in sales above the book fold, at 67% versus 33%. This is 2024. Now, going another year, you can see here in 2025, the flip phone has been reduced because of the gain of the Z Fold 7, brought the flip or the fold book fold up to 45%. Now, this may be why Motorola has decided that they needed to move on from just the flip phone to a fold. Now, what's interesting, the reverse is happening, or I'm doing the reverse. I'm going from a book fold to a flip fold. Now, don't worry, I'm not giving up the book fold. I just wanted to find out how Motorola performs on my own, rather than just taking the word of people in comments saying that it's no good. And so far, I'm not finding any validity in that. So I've got this flip fold from Motorola. It is the basic model, and I think is it the third generation? You guys can correct me. I'm not quite sure. I think it might be the third, maybe fourth generation of the Motorola Fold or Flip, because Samsung's been doing it quite a bit longer. But I really like the fact that this does have a larger outside screen here and has facial recognition. So you see it just turned on. You can use apps, full-size apps here. Well, maybe not full size, but you can put every single app on this front. And in the beginning of the folds, you couldn't do that, or the flips, you couldn't do that. They had their own apps, but now you can put your regular apps on the main screen. So there's your reality check for this video. Foldables still have a long way to go, but the flip phone has been more popular than the fold phone all these years. And there's got to be a reason why, which has brought me to this phone. The moment I took the Razr out of the box, my misconception about this thing being cheap and feeling cheap totally went out the window. And then when you look at the crease on this thing not being there, that's incredible. It's right there, of course, with the folds now. Now, in the beginning, it may have been quite a bit different, and now I just happen to be getting one at the right time. But this crease, you might be able to see it at a certain angle and when the light reflects on it, but man, it's really disappeared. And this thing feels solid, and look how flat that is. It's very straight, opened up. There is no curve, there is no bend like this or anything. It's straight, and the fact that it flings, look at that, just kind of snaps right into place. And it's got so many functions as a foldable. We'll go into those in just a moment. But the screen is really solid, and I'm liking the size of this external screen here. It's really pretty incredible, impressive, and the fact that it goes around the whole thing. It didn't do that in the beginning. And then, of course, you can get the newer one or the higher end one where you got full screen in the back. But for starters, this one really worked well for me. And I just really like the fact it's kind of satisfying. After a call, you just hang up by closing it. I can't snap it because my fingers are in the way, but you just close it and hang it up. I mean, this is really crazy. And the flipping it, I'm not really care too much for that, but it's solid. I don't worry about it breaking by flipping it, but you can tell it's really solid. And when you look at the size of this thing is really tall. This is a 6.9-inch screen, and this is the basic one, and when you take it to a standard phone, that's quite small. This is what, a 6.4-inch external screen on the Pixel 9 or 10 Pro Fold. Now, here's the S25 Ultra up against it. It's taller than the S25 Ultra, as you can see here. Oops, line them up perfectly. It's quite a bit taller. It's not as wide, though. The S25 Ultra is wider, and you have more of a screen. And let me get this thing on. And you can see here, by looking at it that way, it does have more of a screen, one on top of the other. You can see there, it is quite a bit wider on the Ultra, so you do get overall more screen here. But this is still satisfying, and it's not too thin or narrow. So this thing is quite the size, but when you fold it, my goodness, it's so portable. Put that in your pocket. It's not going to fill your pocket like these do, or especially this large S25 Ultra. That's a huge difference, folks. And I'm beginning to understand that that is probably why of the popularity of the flip phone now. So I'm here to admit, and I'm going to admit it right now, I was wrong about these. Now, it could be because the times changed in these improvements, but man, this thing's incredible. And the fact that it works so well, and just so you know, on these flip phones, you have the outer screen, and I have mine set to open up from my face. So I can do this, tap it, and you can see it opened up. The change of color means it's open. So yeah, I can go to my apps here. And then when it's closed, also, I can do the finger touch, as you saw there in the overhead, which is very smart, because on this thing, some people like it better on the inside or on the screen itself. Well, that doesn't make any sense on a foldable, because you got to open it up to get to that screen. So here you can do it with your finger, or you can do it with your face. So this phone is actually quite small, but quite convenient here. Check this out. So here you can use apps right here from the screen. You can look at your photos and, check those out right here. And if you want to, you can actually watch YouTube videos on this cover. I don't know why you'd want to do that. It'd be kind of small, but you can tent it up here and just watch it like so. Which I guess if you're in a small environment, you need to do so, you can do that. Or if you want, you can look at your text messages and respond to them right here. So that's pretty nifty. Let's see, this open one up. That's not a big deal here. Got a FedEx coming. My package is about here, it says. So you can do that, and you can read the full email right here, and you can actually even respond to them if you want to. So that's kind of neat without opening up the phone. That's pretty nifty. So on this, you can actually open up any app. You can use your camera right here on this screen to do selfies, as you can see. That's pretty nifty. And if you want to, you can actually stand it up like so and make it its own stand so you can do a video right from the cover screen. So that's pretty cool. I like that. We'll get to the camera here in a moment. And then, of course, when you open it up, it's just like a normal phone here with the full screen. And I was not sure how it was going to respond, but just like everything else, you swipe to the left and you have your news feed. And I really like that. And also there is some customization. Now I'm not going to get into a lot of the how-tos and all this. I'm just showing you some of the things it does. Here, if you hold down this, you can go big folder. All right. So there it is, into a large folder or a small folder. Something you still can't do on the Pixel. So it's got a little bit of customization here. I haven't done a whole lot on this because I've only had it for a couple days, but I'm really, really impressed with it as far as function and use case. Back to the camera real quick. On the inside, this is really neat, especially if you're doing video. If you have it on here, you can fold this phone and then it turns into a camcorder. And then, of course, if you have a grip right on here, which I've ordered me a MagSafe case, I can put a MagSafe right there on there, or a MagSafe ring, and you can hold it through that ring just like a camcorder and do your recording like this. I think that's going to be pretty cool. Now, of course, that leads us to the cameras, and the cameras on this thing, it only has the pair, like we said here. It's got the two, and tell you a little bit about these cameras. On this one, being the standard model, the cameras are 50 megapixel main with up to 2 times digital zoom. And I found it to be okay, but I don't think people buy this to go out and really shoot a lot of professional footage. This is more of a blogging camera, which I think it would do fine with. And especially on the inside camera, the inside camera is a 32 megapixel selfie camera. So I guess bottom line, they are basic cameras, but I don't think people are buying flip phones like that for the cameras, because even the Samsung flip phones only have the 2 cameras. Now, if you want to go high-end cameras, you'd have to go with the Flip Ultra, because it has 2 50 megapixel cameras, and theirs is a 50 megapixel optical zoom on that phone. In this base model Flip, they don't put a Snapdragon chip. This has a MediaTek chip in it, but this MediaTek is mostly designed for AI and multitasking. So it's a chip that works really well with this phone, but it's not the top end. If you want the phone, again, with the top end specs, you've got to get the Motorola Ultra, which has the Snapdragon 8 Elite chip in it, just like everything else in the market as far as regular phones go. And it's the only Flip that I know actually here in the US that has an 8th Gen Elite chip in it, because even Samsung in their Flip 7, they put the Exynos chip in it. They didn't go with the 8th Gen Snapdragon Elite. But of course, Samsung's got all those extra features. But in a flip phone, I don't know that you're looking for all those features, because you're not going to do a whole lot of split screening on a foldable or anything like that. And I believe it's only this last year that they actually put DeX on their flip phone. So up until this last year, they never even had DeX. This phone actually has faster charging with 30-watt wired charging and 15-watt wireless charging. So yeah, this has wireless charging still built in. So now it's time to hear from you. I'm reaching out to you folks with the folds or the flips. What do you think? Do you have a Razr, or do you have a Samsung Flip? Are these really as good as I'm thinking they are? Have I been wrong all this time? I believe I have. Let me know. What's your experience? What do you think? And if you're a Motorola Flip user, does the Fold interest you at all? Let's have some conversations down below, because I do read and respond to just about every single comment. If you want to see my video where I talk about the Motorola Fold that's coming out, check out this video here. Until next time, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on more content on this and more. Till next time, have a wonderful day, and God bless.